Torontonians in the past few days. This city has surprised me for just what people are capable of, and the fact that people just keep coming out of their homes and refusing to be intimidated by this massive police presence, and even today confronting Bill Blair at his press conference. That was incredible. As this city was being transformed in the lead up to the G20, and every day we saw more police on the streets, we saw more fences, we found out about more restrictions on our freedom of movement, our freedom of speech. We were told where we could go, where we couldn't go, heard about red zones and green zones. I had this strange feeling that what was happening to our city was that something that was already underway in our country was simply being made visible, which is to say that there has been a very powerful attack on freedom of expression in this country, a McCarthyite campaign against people who fall outside of the Harper government's version of what we should be saying and doing. And so what happened with the G20 is that suffocating feeling that many of us have been experiencing suddenly became tangible, became visible. But it's part of a pattern that includes attacks on arts organizations for daring to have political positions, political views. That includes attacks on women's organizations for standing for equality and women's right to choose around the world. And that includes incredible attacks on non-governmental organizations that support Palestinians, groups like Kairos, attacks on the Canadian Arab Federation, and on. But where the attacks have been most fierce have been against any group involved in the campaign against Israeli apartheid and fighting for the tactic of boycott, divestment, and sanctions. And we have seen these attacks manifest themselves in many ways, telling high school students they can't organize, have Israeli apartheid weeks, telling university students that they can't have halls to have their events. The smear campaign against Libby Davies, the best MP in this country. And of course, the fierce campaign against Quaia and your right to march in your Pride Day.
Right.
But what happened there was something very interesting, which is I think they messed with the wrong community. They messed with the community that knows every bullying tactic in the book.
Right.
And they messed with the community that takes freedom of speech really seriously. And it was a wonderful thing to watch the way people came together on this issue. You know, as somebody who's been very involved in the campaign for boycott, divestment, and sanctions, I can tell you that the ground is shifting. I believe that the right to tell the truth about what is happening in Israel-Palestine, about the truth of apartheid policies, is perhaps the last great civil liberties struggle of our time. I think there is more censorship around this issue in North America than there is on any single other issue. We certainly felt it here in Toronto when a few of us decided that this was not the right year to celebrate Israel at the Toronto International Film Festival. But this community fought back with a confidence, with a spirit of solidarity that is rarely seen. And even as we raise awareness and as we create more acceptability about speaking honestly about Israel's war crimes, it is hard to win, and you even have cases like the incredible students at University of California, Berkeley, who won a terrific victory for boycott, divestment, and sanctions when their student senate passed with an overwhelming majority a resolution divesting from 2 weapons companies invested in the Israeli occupation. But after they won, it was vetoed. And so first they won and then they lost. So I guess I just want to say to you that this is a long, long struggle. Victories are few and far between. So thank you for winning.